Hi dolls! A lot of you ask questions, and in this video I'm going to answer one of them. So if you want to know if I regret quitting my 9-to-5 job, then let's get to it. So Patricia asks, do I have any regrets quitting my 9-to-5? I feel like this location is the perfect opportunity for me to answer this question. I am at the beautiful Gaylord Hotel in Nashville. I'm actually in the hotel, but it looks like I'm outside of the hotel because like it has rivers, it has so much going on. Let me go over here so you can get an amazing look at this place. But in general, I am sort of on a working trip with my partner. I mean, it's stunning. There's pictures on my Facebook page. You can't even imagine how gorgeous it is here. And I'm actually, like I said, I'm indoors. We're underneath this like biodome thing. So it's sort of this indoor-outdoor scenario, and it is stunning. But the reason this is a perfect place for me to be doing this particular video is because the answer is, do I regret it? Short answer, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I can't even imagine going back to a regular like corporate type of job. But I want to answer the question also honestly, that there are some pros and cons and things that I definitely miss, things that I wish I would have considered when I quit my 9-to-5, maybe like stuff that I would have put in place, but definitely I do not regret it. And I just can't really imagine going back. One of the pros is the fact that I can use Ulysses working vacation. So he is receiving an award and he's gonna be sort of in meetings till like between noon and 2 every day. He's in meetings. So we go to breakfast together. I'm here for 5 days. So I work while he's in his meetings, and then I take the rest of the day to spend with him. Obviously, if you had a traditional job, outside of like using your PTO or whatever, you wouldn't just be able to be like, yeah, I'm working in Nashville today, or I'm working here, I'm working there, right? You just couldn't do that. So definite pro. Sort of a con is the fact that I work for myself, so I do still need to work, or I need to work triple time before I go and do anything to ensure that I can actually take time off. It's not like I just accrue PTO and can just take the time off and go. Especially right now, I'm the only person that packs orders. I do have 3 employees, 1 full-time, 2 part-time, but they're all virtual. So the physical shipping of orders outside of like if it's a chip order or a special order, I mean, just can't be done when I'm not around. So that is a hurdle I hope to address soon, but that's definitely something that has to be planned out for. I can't just go and be like, okay, I'm taking my PTO, we're going on this trip, I'm still receiving a paycheck, like all those type of things. There's way more prep and consideration when doing that. But I have the flexibility that, and essentially if I had someone to pack orders for me, I could travel all the time, constantly. And probably will get to the point where I can do that. I should think ahead and do like meet and greets or be able to do personal consultations or something. That's a whole nother scenario. I did just sign a lease from my physical store right before we left here. So the level of stress is pretty intense. I'm having a great time, I'm making the most of it, but in general, there's just like the contingency things, the things that I didn't think about before I quit my job. One of the big things is health insurance. So I'm fortunate to live in a state where as a self-employed person, you can get state insurance up until a certain point. Up until you make a certain amount of money, you can get state insurance. So I have been on state insurance until last month. I finally made more money, which is awesome, but now I have to pay for my own insurance. And I know that that's a hurdle for just a lot of people in general. I'm fortunate that I do get a lowered insurance still, but I do still have to pay for it. So that was something that I was not necessarily prepared to do, but I do have insurance now, so it is what it is. But again, it's just those little things that you don't think about when you have your regular corporate job. Sick time. If I get sick, I'm kind of screwed. I can't really be sick. And I am putting things in place so that that isn't such a big deal, and that if I could, you know, they always say you want to be able to lift out of your business. Can you lift out of your business? And I'm trying to make it so I can do that. It's just hard because, you know, my business was built on my YouTube channel. So it's very difficult to just take the me out of the business. That's why I'm adding in different people. I'm adding in my ambassadors. You can see I'm slowly adding people in. Leanne started doing sales. I'm doing all these things. And just from the back end of things, partially the reason I'm doing that is so that I can get sick if I need to get, like if I'm sick, that I can actually get sick and get better. Right now, it would be really detrimental to my literal entire living. I do live off my business 100%. And so, and like I said, I do have 3 employees that I pay. So I would say that's another thing to consider. I wouldn't necessarily say like it's a con per se, but when you take on employees, it's not just like, okay, I had a bad month, so I just have to figure out my own stuff, right? You know, if I have a bad month, potentially I can't pay my employee, and like that's how they're paying their mortgage. That's how they're paying for their health insurance. And so that's a little bit stressful. I would say overall, the level of stress for the business is a lot more than I anticipated. Maybe, I'm not sure if I anticipated or didn't consider it. I have a whole video on that. I sort of quit my job like without thinking. Again, do not regret it. But if you're thinking about doing this, please put some safeguards in place. For instance, I had no savings. I had nothing when I quit my job to start this business. And I want to be an inspiration to people, but I also want to be honest with you about the scenario. I was on YouTube for, what, 6 years at that point, building sort of my audience, building my reach. Even though I didn't even realize I was gonna have a store, like I was already building that. So I think had I just like up and quit without having that, I would not have been able to do what I have done up until now. Like my supporters, my community, I was already putting that in place. We were already building relationships. We were already building that trust beforehand, especially in the business I'm in, retail. Is about trust and about communication and about reliability and consistency and knowing that they're getting their product and feeling good about it. So it would have been hard for me to just be like, oh, I'm gonna, you know, open a clothing store like tomorrow, like a little boutique, and not still have had to work a regular job. P.S. There's nothing wrong with working your full-time job, especially like for stuff like health insurance and things like that, to get your like dream going and get it situated. There is nothing wrong with that. I actually encourage you doing that. If you can do it as a side hustle and then build it into like your main squeeze, then do it that way. That's the most ideal way, because there's just certain things, you know, you could use your vacation time to do like big projects, you know, you can take your time off and know that you're still getting your paycheck while you're off. When I was in corporate, we actually were off at noon on Fridays. We only worked 3 hours every Friday. Like that was just how the schedule was. So I would film all this content Friday and get like months and months ahead. I was a content machine. I still am. It's the scheduling the content, doing the thumbnails, all that. But the content's there. Hundreds of videos are available to be put up like literally any day. And we're working on systems to do that as well. So I would say to Patricia, do I regret leaving my job? No. If I could do it again, would there be things that I would change? Yes. If you want a part 2 of this video where I kind of talk about those things that I would have either wish I would have known, changed, put in place before I quit my job, then I can do that. Let me know down below if that's something that you want to see. But I hope this answered the question, and thank you, Patricia, for asking, and I am happy to answer any questions. So if you have a question, then go ahead and put it down below. If you haven't subscribed, please consider doing so. And if you have, thank you so much. I'll see you soon. Bye.